Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim Kelly. This is The Real Sports Talk. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am continuing my quarterback countdown today. Let's recap what we have so far before I reveal who is at number 25 on my quarterback countdown list. So beginning at number 32, I had Nick Foles of the Philadelphia Eagles. At number 31, I had Chad Henne of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Christian Ponder of the Minnesota Vikings came in at 30. Kevin Kolb, newly of the Buffalo Bills, came in at 29. Matt Flynn of the Oakland Raiders, who they acquired in the offseason, he comes in at 28. 27 is Mark Sanchez of the New York Jets. 26 is Brandon Weeden of the Cleveland Browns. And 25 goes to another quarterback who is in a new home coming over from the Oakland Raiders, and that is Carson Palmer. He joins Bruce Arians, who leaves being the Colts offensive coordinator, and for a majority of the season last year he was actually their head coach. He leaves that role and he comes over there to be head coach. Prior to that, he had been Ben Roethlisberger's offensive coordinator for quite some time and did a tremendous job helping Roethlisberger progress. He did a tremendous job helping Andrew Luck to become a guy that looked like he was a 10-year pro in his rookie season. So I think that is a good fit for any quarterback. Now, I mean, Carson Palmer is not exactly someone that Bruce Arians can mold into the quarterback that he wants to be. Carson Palmer is 33 years old. We know what he once was. I don't think anyone is under the belief that he's going to go back to playing like he did in Cincinnati when he had Chad Johnson and T.J. Houshmandzadeh and Rudy Johnson and just a stacked offense around him. But I think that a lot of people feel like, well, he threw for 22 touchdowns and 14 interceptions last year, over 4,000 yards. He had a down season, and a majority of that was because Darren McFadden didn't stay healthy. He didn't have any receivers, and the offensive line was pitiful for the Raiders. So the Raiders decided to go altogether in another direction, but I don't think Carson Palmer is necessarily a quarterback whose career is done or who people should give up on. I don't think he's a long-term answer here in Arizona. I think that Bruce Arians looked at the draft, wasn't impressed for obvious reasons, and then he looked at the free agency crop and the trade crop, and you had guys like Kevin Kolb and Matt Flynn, who, I mean, it could work out, there's no doubt about that, especially in the case of Matt Flynn, who's never really gotten that chance to be the starter. And I think that goes for Kevin Kolb, too, who's never gotten an extended chance. He was already on Arizona, but he could have gone with one of those two guys. But the problem is with going with one of those two guys is it could completely blow up, and you could go 3-13 in your first year, which already starts the ball rolling downhill. If you have a guy like Carson Palmer there for a year and you go 7-9, you can start to say, okay, we made improvements this year. You can draft a quarterback next season and have Carson Palmer play for one more year, have the quarterback learn under Bruce Arians and Carson Palmer, and then you have a solution long-term for the future. I think this year for Palmer, the thing I want to see is I want to see him cut down on the interceptions. That was his problem in his last season in Cincinnati, his first season in Oakland. Last year he got it down to 14 interceptions, but I think behind a better line with a pretty good receiving core that features Larry Fitzgerald, Michael Floyd, and then Rob Hausler, the tight end, I think he should actually have a pretty solid season this year. I want to see him go back over 25 touchdowns, and I really want to see how committed is Carson Palmer to playing, because what he did 2 years ago by sitting out half the season to basically force his way out of Cincinnati, I can't imagine doing that, even if you want to get out of somewhere. If you truly love the game and want to play the game, I can't imagine sitting out half the season to make your point made. But he did that, and I think that it will always raise some questions in people's mind about the desire of a guy like Carson Palmer. How much does he really want to play, or how much is it about the paycheck for Carson Palmer? So that's something I think he's going to need to answer this year. Again, he's 33 years old, but I think he can cut down on the interceptions this year, get the passing yardage numbers back over 4,200, somewhere in that area, and then get to about 25 touchdowns and 10 picks. I think that's about the numbers we should look for, 24, 25 touchdowns, and between 10 and 13 picks for Carson Palmer in 2013. So that's what I'm expecting out of Carson Palmer. I have him at number 25 on my top 32 quarterbacks for 2013.